I'm Christina Richardson. I'm the former principal of Bryan Collegiate High School. In August of 2007, we opened the doors to Bryan Collegiate for the first time. We were one of 20 early college high schools in the entire state, so there wasn't a book out there or even suggestions about how do you run an early college high school? How do you help our target population? We specifically recruit low-income, first-generation, and at-risk students to be part of the school with our mission being that we're going to get them not only into college, but to persist in college and get a post-secondary degree. So with that mission in mind, we welcomed just over 100 ninth grade students. We had 6 teachers, and our whole staff, me included, we really thought that, you know, there was a selection process, that these kids were chosen for this school. And not only were they chosen, but they applied. So they really want to be here. And so those two things, if they were chosen and we know they want to be here, then surely we are going to be just hit the ground running, and we're going to be able to go deeper into that curriculum, really push these kids hard, and produce some great things. As the semester progressed, we started to find out the reality of it. And the reality is, saying I want to do something is not the same as understanding what it's going to take to do it. And above all, they're still 14. And no matter where you are, a teenager is a teenager with the same types of problems. So we were experiencing high failure rates, kids who wouldn't come to tutorials, kids who wouldn't turn in their work, the same type of behaviors from freshmen that they would have at a traditional campus. So as we were getting to the end of the semester, the staff had kind of put together a watch list. We met every week as a staff, and so as we're headed into December now, we looked at this list of 20 or 30 kids that we knew we needed to watch. And at one point in our conversation, the faculty just asked, is it possible that we can just send these kids back to the traditional campus? They are just not ready for this experience. They don't know the work that it takes. They don't have the academic skills that it takes. We just can't help them at this point. So we kind of left it there, and I needed to reflect on this. I needed to really think about what's best for the kids, what's best for the school. It's a new school. What are we going to do? So before the next meeting, I put an application together. And we know that if we're going to remove kids, we're going to have to accept new kids. We can't just have a school with 50 kids in it. So at the next meeting, I gave them an application. And I explained to them, okay, if we're going to start thinking about kicking these kids out, then we're going to have to bring in new kids. So here's the first application I would like you to consider. And there was no name on the application. I just gave it to them just with the information that we considered in our matrix at that time. And so as they were looking, they saw a report card that had C's, D's, and even a failing grade in PE. They saw a discipline record that had a fight on it, as well as a kind of a little side note from an administrator saying that this student is also associated with some people who are in gangs. And then you look at the absence report, and you see just tons of absences. Every single week there were absences. And you don't know if it was an illness, you don't know why, but you just see tons of absences. And so everybody was looking at this, and I asked them, okay, what do you guys think? Could this be one of the kids we bring in? And the whole staff just kind of looked at me like I had lost my mind. And they all said, are you serious? Like, this is who we're talking about getting rid of. We're not going to bring in more kids like this. And so at that point, I told them the student's name. And it was me. It was the things that I did and who I was at 14 years old as a freshman in high school. And what I wanted them to realize is who these kids are at 14 is not who any of us grow up to be. And that this is our opportunity to make a difference and help them change things in their life. And so it was at that moment we started looking at truly what else can we do? What supports can we do? What changes can we make that will help these kids be successful?